Hi, thank you for downloading our system. In this short video, I'm going to be breaking down our complete approach and our system to building repeatable and predictable pipeline. My name is Max Hanna. I'm one of the co-founders of Social Tree and Third Eye. I've been working in enterprise sales for over 10 years and been lucky enough to work with some amazing brands such as the London Stock Exchange, Sage, UBS, BNY, massive global brands when it comes to using advanced marketing techniques to build pipeline. And over 10 years of working in this space, I've boiled down the key to success really comes down to community building, and it comes down to relationships. When I'm working with large companies who are selling, 6-figure, 7-figure deals, it is all about relationships and scaling relationships. And even for myself, when I've been winning these new accounts for my own business, it's always come down to relationship building. I don't believe that cold bombing works. So sending out cold, emails, cold DMs, just asking for a meeting, or jump on a Teams call straight away because people are busy. They get a million of those messages. It's really level one stuff. And the more advanced companies really understand that relationship building and network building are the key to growth. And there's two things over the last decade that I've seen really work, and it's the combination of social media plus in-person events. So it's social media plus in-person events, and in B2B, it's LinkedIn. And we're seeing amazing results with immersive events at the moment. I think when you look at the event world around us, even in B2C, in the consumer world, immersive is really taking focus. When you look at immersive art shows, or even the ABBA Voyage experience, we had holograms, you've got the Las Vegas Sphere, immersive is coming to B2B, and social media combined with that is just a really powerful weapon to win new business. So I'm going to break down in this short presentation how we combine the two and what's been working for us. So, just to reiterate the old playbook, of blasting generic emails, having a company page that gets no engagement, events with no pre-warming or follow-up, SDRs manually reaching out to people and getting frustrated with the results. These are all things that just aren't working anymore. But what we are seeing working is using AI research, using Clay, so building really in-depth prospect lists, using LinkedIn to warm up your audience with video, and then taking that audience on LinkedIn, they've been warmed up through content marketing, thought leadership, video content, and pushing them to events. So actually getting that online audience and moving them offline, so you can actually meet them in person and build that relationship initially in a non-salesy environment, in a place where it's focused around an event, thought leadership, having some fun, and it's that environment that you actually convert into pipeline. So our model breaks down into 3 stages. So the first one is intelligent outreach. So it's using automated research using Clay. I think before AI, a lot of SDRs would do a lot of manual research, but with AI now, you can build lists so quickly, hyper relevant, really get in-depth research to help you tailor your outreach, but also tailor your events so that when you are creating an event, it's something that's going to land with your audience. And in terms of the second bit is about authority content. So you do need to build brand awareness. It's really hard to drive a significant amount of sign-ups to your events if people have never heard of you, if they don't trust you. So authority content is all about enabling your team through our preference, which is video content. We find that the most human way to show up on social media. Also creating LinkedIn live events, so creating online events where you just bring that community together, bring awareness, drive impressions, build trust, and then sending out direct messages to invite them to your events. And the events that we find working at the moment are immersive events, where it's not about just sitting down on a chair and watching a presentation. You actually immerse your audience in the story and let them engage in the narrative the way that they see fit, so they're a participant and not just a viewer. And that's the kind of change with immersive events and some of the technology behind that. So if we break that down, what we're really talking about in layer 1, the intelligent outreach, is using things like Clay. So this is an example of a Clay table we built for a customer where we took a list of prospects, so accounts, key job titles, getting all, in this example, actually reaching out to CTOs, so it's chief technology officers, and wanted their LinkedIn URL, wanted their email address, the standard stuff you need for SDR list. But also looking at buying triggers, so looking at key hires in the organization, We're actually selling cybersecurity software in this example. So we wanted to look at, has anyone in the last year had a major cyber incident? Because if they have, that means that they might be prone to outreach for this particular company who is selling cybersecurity software. And we also wanted to know, are they a verified Salesforce user? Because in this example, the customer, they can only sell to Salesforce users because their software actually protects Salesforce in the cloud. So they can't sell to anyone who doesn't have Salesforce. So with Clay, it allows you to go and research and look for signals of people who have Salesforce, so whether it's verified on their website, whether they're hiring Salesforce people, because if they're hiring Salesforce, developers, they obviously have Salesforce. And then using integrations tools like BuildWith to see the technology stack and to see if Salesforce is in there. So using these advanced systems allowed the sales teams to be a lot more focused on customers that have had a recent cyber attack, are verified Salesforce users, who are hiring teams, and other signals that before took a lot of manual research, and that's what Clay allows you to do. So doing that bit up front really helps the next step, which is layer 2, which is about turning your team into LinkedIn Voices buyers follow. And our system is all about starting with a LinkedIn Live. So a LinkedIn Live event is like a webinar, but it's hosted on LinkedIn. And in this example, we did it for a company called Ipsos. We do it every year around the Super Bowl. So they really want to, they sell advertising research to the creative industry. So when they're creating Super Bowl ads, they can make better ads through their research, and they want to be an authority around the Super Bowl. So every year they launch a LinkedIn Live as a huge brand awareness piece, so that they are taking, share of voice around the adverts that were shown at the event. So we create a long form LinkedIn Live. We try to drive around 100 to 500 MQLs, so sign-ups to that LinkedIn Live. Because it's then distributed across other channels. LinkedIn is the kind of tip of the sphere, but then YouTube, we try to drive 100,000 impressions across YouTube, TikTok, because we take the long form content and turn it into shorts. So this video might be like an hour long, but we turn it into like 12-minute shorts that goes all over LinkedIn, company pages, personal pages, YouTube, TikTok, driving that 100K impressions. And then you have a 6 weeks content plan post event, and then you have the on-demand recording that you drive the sign-ups to. So this kind of unique methodology of starting with a LinkedIn Live, you can create like 6 weeks of content around a key topic that you want to have that authority in, and leading with video, with shorts, that kind of podcast, video cast setup in a studio that we find to be a lot more engaging than just someone sitting on a Teams call. That's how you drive the brand awareness, so people now understand who you are, what you're about, and actually get interested in what you have to say. So when you create that content system, then we drive them to events. So sending out DMs, paid ads, emails, inviting that warm audience that we built on LinkedIn to immersive events. And at immersive events, we're talking about projection mapping. So in this example here, this is an event we hosted where we had projections on a wall. We created this immersive environment where we had this really powerful storytelling around this event. Usually people go to an event and they just sit there and watch a boring presentation with lots of stats. We wanted to take them into a world, into an immersive story, pioneered in the art world and art studios, but we're seeing projection mapping as a really powerful tool to create wow events. We're also looking at things like virtual reality, holograms, gaming as a way to really stand out events and drive footfall. This is an example of one we did with the London Stock Exchange. So the London Stock Exchange hosts lots of networking events, and they use virtual reality. We actually built a data game, a data universe where you have to catch and interact with as much data as possible, and the more you interact, the more points you score. And we have a bit of a friendly competition, and it's a really cool way to just engage an audience in a fun and interactive way. Racing simulators also very popular. Gamification is obviously a really important way when you're at big events to actually bring people to your booth to have fun and start a conversation. So virtual reality, augmented reality, other kind of tools that you can use. But if I was to break down the key tools as a summary, it would be projection mapping, so creating interactive tunnels. We're actually doing one at Farnborough Air Show where you walk through and there's like a plane being built around you. And you can kind of see from a manufacturing point of view all the elements that go into building a plane. And then it's like virtual reality, augmented reality, often around gamification. You're looking at holograms, robotics. So actually hiring a robot for your next event can be a really cool thing to do. Brain reading technology. There's so much really cool tech out there that you can challenge your audience's perception of reality, of what the cutting edge is, and kind of get them to play with the frontier of tech and to have them at the heart of of that kind of story that you want to tell. And what we see with these is you get higher sign-up. So when you go out direct messaging people on LinkedIn saying, hey, do you want to attend this event? If you can say it's an immersive event with holograms, with projection mapping, it's an immersive room, you get a much higher sign-up to, hey, do you want to just come and watch a boring presentation that you've seen a million times? So that's why you do it, you get higher sign-ups, and then you just create a more memorable event. So that's the system. It's not overly complicated. There's 3 steps, as I mentioned, and these are the steps. And if you want help, we can execute on these line items. So the steps are Clay to build your target audience. So you're sending the message to the right people that are qualified. It's LinkedIn Live video production. So you're creating videos and shorts all over the web to build awareness. It's LinkedIn automation, so it's sending out DMs to people to get them to your event. It's paid ads to get them to your event, and it's immersive event tech, so having that at your event as well. So all these items is what we do here at Social Tree and Third Eye. We do it for customers, we do it for ourselves. And if you're looking for an agency to support across those line items, that is how we could potentially help you. It's all about relationship building. It's all about getting people to an event so your sales team can meet their ideal prospects, and it's doing that at scale. And that is the secret to enterprise sales. Anyone who says you can just send cold emails, book meetings and sell deals in enterprise, I think is lying. And if you're watching this video, I think you've probably not had much success with that either. It's the integration of social media and events that's the most powerful combo in enterprise sales. So if you want help in terms of the next step, we have a pipeline accelerator workshop where we can help you with layer 1 getting set up with Clay. So we'll actually set up your first Clay table, 50 enriched accounts who are scored and ready for outreach. So we'll understand your kind of key buyers, your ICP, what their potential buying triggers are, what they need in their tech stack for you to sell to them, or it might not be tech, but maybe it's something in the industry or regulation, whatever it is that they have to have for you to sell. We can manage that through Clay. And then we'll help you with a strategy to create that authority content. So how do you create these LinkedIn Lives, these shorts? How do you scale content to really make a noise in the industry? And the third thing will help you with an immersive event. So how can you create an immersive event? Is it right that you use virtuality, or should you use projection mapping? Maybe you rent a venue that has some of that tech already installed. It will help you create that system for £950 so you can get going with this 3-layered approach. So I hope you found that useful. That's our approach. It's social media plus events. It's cutting edge LinkedIn plus immersive tech. And if you'd like help, feel free to reach out to me either via email or just go on our website and book a call. And I hope you found that useful. Thank you very much for your time.